The audition.
Hi, Cindy. Are you ready for the big audition this afternoon?
I don't know, Greg. I've been practicing the script all week, but the princess has so many lines that I don't know if I can remember them all.
You don't have to remember all of them for the audition, just the lines for the main scene, where the pirate meets the princess and tries to kidnap her.
I know, but even in that scene, the princess has quite a few lines.
You've got to think positive and have some confidence in yourself. I think that you're going to get the part and that you'll be a fantastic princess.
Well, I'm glad that somebody has confidence in me. I think I'm just worried that I'll forget my lines. By the way, which part are you going to try out for?
I'm trying out for the part of the pirate, the one who tries to steal the princess away from the prince.
Oh yeah, the pirate and the prince get to have that cool sword fight in the final scene, and then the prince kills the pirate with his own sword.
Yeah, I remember reading that in the script. But at the audition today, we'll be practicing the scene where the pirate first sees the princess and falls in love with her.
Hey, I'll help you practice your scene if you'll help me practice mine.
You've got a deal. Let's start now.
Add, subtract, multiply, and divide.
Hello there, Terry. How are you doing?
Not too well. I'm really having trouble figuring out this arithmetic assignment. I can add and subtract pretty well, but without a calculator, it's difficult for me to multiply and divide. Hey, Olaf, I heard that you're excellent in math.
My technique is that I try to imagine pictures in my mind so the numbers aren't just figures on a page, but something I can apply to real life. One way I do this is to imagine the numbers as if they were money. For example, if the equation is 753 minus 236, I think about $7.53 minus $2.36. It's $5.17 or 517. Easy!
Wow, that does seem easier for adding and subtracting. But how do you apply this technique to multiplying and dividing?
Okay, suppose the equation is 200 times 30. 30 is 3 groups of 10. So first I imagine 10 groups of people standing in a large field. Next to each group is a sign with the number 200 on it. At the front of the field is a huge sign with the number 2000 on it because 200 times 10 equals 2000, right? But the problem requires 200 times 10 3 times, so I just add 2 more fields of people to my picture with 2 more signs that say 2000. Now I have 2000 times 3. The answer is 6000.
I spy.
Dad, this is so boring, just sitting back here with nothing to do.
Playing a game is a fun way to pass time on a long car trip.
Okay, but what kind of game can we play when we're going 70 miles an hour in a car?
Well, when I was young, we used to play a game in the car called I Spy. One person decides on an object that he or she can see and tells us its color. Then the rest of us have to ask yes or no questions to try and find out what it is.
I'll go first, and I spy something that's...
Hey, I wanted to go first.
Billy, let your sister begin. Remember, it's considered good manners to let girls and younger children have their turn ahead of us.
Yeah, remember your manners, stupid.
Betsy, it's also good manners to treat each other with respect and not to call people names. I think you need to apologize to your brother.
I'm sorry, Billy. Let's start, okay? I spy something small and green. It's on the steering wheel and...
Stop, Betsy. Dad said that you're only supposed to tell us its color, not its size or location or anything else.
Oh no, I forgot.
That's okay, honey. Everybody makes mistakes. Remember the saying, if at first you don't succeed, try again.
Okay, let me try again. I spy something...
What's in a name?
Si, do you have a local driver's license that we can rent the car with for our trip this weekend?
Sure, Jen. Here you are.
It says here that your name is Sarang Patel, but I thought your first name was Si.
Sai is my nickname, and Sarang is my given name. It means navigator in Hindi. At the time I was born, things were confusing and difficult for my family in India. My parents wanted a son who could lead and guide our family to success.
Well, I just hope you can lead and guide all of us to the beach this weekend.
Ha ha, very funny. So, your nickname is Jen, and your given name's Jennifer. Do you know how you got that name?
Actually, I was named after my father's grandmother, Guinevere.
Wasn't Guinevere the wife of King Arthur in that old story from England?
Yes, she was. And her name means pure.
It's interesting how people get their names. In India, we don't name children after their relatives like they do in America. To me, it's strange to see names like Jack Johnson Jr. and George Bush Sr.
Usually, it's a way to show respect for a person, but some people make it ridiculous. You've heard about George Foreman, the famous boxer, haven't you?
No.
Well, he had 5 boys, and he named each one of them George, after himself.
It must be confusing when the phone rings at his house. I feel awful.
Mom, I feel awful. I think I'd better stay home from school today.
I'm sorry you're not feeling well. What's the problem?
I have a stomach ache, my head hurts, and I have a sore throat.
Well, we'd better take your temperature and make sure you don't have a fever. Keep this thermometer under your tongue for a minute or two. Remind me to call your teacher and tell her you're sick later on today. All right, let's check. Oh dear, you've got a fever. Your temperature is 103, so I think we need to give Dr. Thompson a call.
I don't understand how my head can be so hot when my body feels so cold.
That's called the chills, and they often come along with fever. You've certainly got a fever.
But what about my stomach ache and my sore throat?
Well, that's another reason we need to go see Dr. Thompson, because when you have a stomach ache, fever, chills, and a sore throat, it usually means that you have something more serious than a common cold. I think you've probably got the flu.
I hope it's not too serious, because we've got a basketball game Thursday, and the coach told me that I'll probably start.
If you want to recover from the flu in time for your game, you'd better get plenty of rest. Take the medicine the doctor gives you and drink plenty of water.
I promise I will, Mom. Let's go and see Dr. Thompson now.
A nice cup of tea. Could I offer you a cup of tea?
Yes, thank you very much. What kind do you have?
I have Earl Grey, English breakfast, Irish breakfast, and Darjeeling.
Those are all black teas. Do you have any green tea?
I'm sorry, I don't really like green tea.
How could you not like green tea? It's so much easier to drink than black tea.
I just don't think green tea tastes as good as black tea. Green tea has a simple flavor, but black tea has many kinds of flavors.
Well, I don't taste many flavors when I drink black tea. It just tastes bitter to me.
Then you should drink more black tea, because after drinking it for a while, you begin to appreciate its flavor.
Whatever its flavor, black tea can't be nearly as healthy as green tea. I read about a study last week that showed people who drink green tea are less likely to get serious diseases, like cancer or heart disease.
Well, history tells us that in the past, good black tea has been considered more valuable than gold. Wars have been started over it.
Really? Which wars?
The American Revolution.
The American Revolution had nothing to do with tea.
One of the things that started the Revolutionary War was an incident where a group of Americans dumped a British shipment of tea into the ocean in Boston. This was called the Boston Tea Party, and it had nothing to do with green tea. Moving. Hey, Sheena, I haven't seen you for ages. What's new? Where are you going with all those suitcases?
Hi, Mark. It's been a while since the last time we ran into each other. I'm bringing these suitcases home to pack because my family is preparing to move across the bay to Port Anderson.
Really? How are you going to transport all your furniture?
I'm not sure. I considered hiring a moving van, but someone told me it might be more convenient to rent a huge container and ship everything across. The details are a bit complicated because we've got so many boxes.
Well, when my sister and brother-in-law moved to Dallas last year, they sent all their furniture and heavy items by cargo flight. They hauled it there on a massive cargo plane, then rented a truck and picked it up at the airport after they arrived.
That's interesting, but the problem is that we have so much junk, we might need 2 cargo planes.
Well, however you get it there, it sounds like you'll need help once you get it to the other side. I've got a friend there who owns a self-serve truck company. He can rent you a truck at a discount rate. Which day are you moving?
Next Saturday.
I'm free that day, so I'll help you out. I've still got my small truck, so I can haul some stuff for you too.
Thanks, Mark. That would be great.
Going on vacation.
Hey, Carl. I'm surprised to see you here. Jeremy told me that you were on vacation.
Hi, Shelley. We were visiting some relatives in Sydney, but we returned last night.
Oh, I've wanted to go to Australia ever since I was little. Tell me what it was like.
It was fantastic. We fed kangaroos, walked through rainforests, and swam in the ocean. What was really great was when we took a train to Brisbane to see the Great Barrier Reef.
I've heard that flights to Australia are pretty expensive.
My dad knows someone who works for Qantas Airlines, so we were able to get a good deal. The tickets were only $800 per person for a round trip.
Wow, that is a good deal. When we went on vacation to Bangkok last year, it cost $1,000 for a round-trip ticket, and Thailand's closer than Australia.
What did you like best about Thailand?
Well, the food was delicious, and riding elephants was exciting, but I'd have to say that the beach was the best part. The only unpleasant part of the trip was after we got home, when we found out that the airline had lost some of our luggage. My father's suitcase and my sister's backpack were missing.
So the airline lost 2 pieces of luggage? How long did it take you to get them back?
3 days. But the good news is that when they finally found them, they delivered them right to our front door.